Hello and welcome to Talking Game. It's the match preview of West Ham United against Liverpool, the Champions League playoff, nearly, kind of, contenders. Gonzo, thoughts on Liverpool, please?
Well, it's quite a weird one, really, Gio, because as we're recording this, I have done, I'm sure you have as well, just finished watching Liverpool play Tottenham. So I can't remember that I've done this very often before, where we've just watched our next opposition, play in a game. A weird season for Liverpool. And we are dealing with, let's be fair, the European champions, and then the following year, the domestic champions. And they've waited years and years, particularly for the Premier League title. They waited absolute years for that. So it's a bit of a climb down for them this season. It's been a bit of a reality check because even when they didn't win it, when they lost to City, they lost out by 1 point or something like that, and they'd only lost one game all season, I believe, or something like that. A ridiculous record, which would have won the league pretty much on every other time. It's been phenomenal, and their record is so phenomenal that when they lose, I think it becomes a little bit more pronounced and a little bit more stark. That being said, I didn't think until tonight, which is obviously yesterday, whenever you're watching this, they hadn't won. They hadn't won in the new year, basically. So this has been possibly the poorest run of form that Liverpool have had under Klopp for, I don't know, 3-4 years, something like that. Good club though, really good club. Loads of really good players. Let's not kid ourselves and think that this is a club in the doldrums or all the players have turned crap or anything like that. They really haven't, Gio. It just might not be their year, possibly because City are so excellent and they've had a dip.
Yeah, I think it's a funny old season for them. They've just had injuries left, right, and centre, front to back. You know, the Van Dijk's the big one, but when you take out Van Dijk and Fabinho moves to the back, you're missing two players essentially. Yes, Fabinho's still there, but he's in the wrong position now. So you've taken out your best centre back, you've taken out your best centre midfielder. You're going to struggle. I think they've looked a bit flat at times, though. They've still got their front three, though. They've still got Salah, Firmino, Mane. I just don't think they've looked as good. It is a little bit sort of like tricks of the mind because we've just watched them smash Spurs
Yep.
and score essentially 4 goals. Yes, one got ruled out, but they've gone and scored 4 goals. So you're trying to sort of ignore that a little bit because prior the period would be a lot different had we not just gone and watched that game.
Sure.
But they are looking flat. However, they're not that far behind the title. You know, they're going a good bit of running. All of a sudden, they're back on the top of the table. As simple as that, really. It's just been just a funny season for them. But I think I think what they're struggling from is I do think the lack of fans is affecting them at Anfield. I do think that's having an impact. And I think in general around the Premier League, not just Liverpool or Man City, but in general, there's no fear factor anymore. I think teams are willing to have a go at Liverpool, have a go at Man City and stuff. Is that because there is no fans or what? I don't know, but it just seems that everybody's willing to now swing fists at other people in the Premier League, and it's more enjoyable as a neutral when you're watching Liverpool play. Do you think they can still win the title?
Oh, they can win the title, and what you say is correct. But I didn't feel just watching that Tottenham had a go. I didn't. I thought the shackles were on, and we'll discuss us in a bit. But I was watching that thinking, I think we'll have a go a bit more than Tottenham are doing here. Certainly, can they win it? Well, they're 4 points behind Manchester City, but Man City have a game in hand. Man City don't look like losing at the moment, and they have De Bruyne to come back, I believe. When teams like Liverpool and Man City, because I do think I know that the league tells a different tale. When those two teams in particular, get the look about them like they can't lose, they tend not to lose. We are dealing with sort of unprecedented times where these super teams that have broken Premier League records, both of them have done so, are capable of going undefeated for 20 or 30 games. This is ridiculous. This is, in any other era, that's ridiculous, but they are more than capable of it. Can Liverpool? Yes, but it's not in their hands anymore. I think certainly the other teams in and around Liverpool will drop enough points to allow Liverpool to get up there, but I'm not sure City will. So actually, in any other season, halfway, 3 points, 4 points behind, no problem. Against Manchester City in rampant form, 4 points behind with a game in hand, it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah, I can't see them doing it either, but I think they can. I think they'll take it to match day 35 at a minimum before it's sort of over, if you like. Because the one thing I've been impressed by with Liverpool for the past 2 seasons is not just ability, but it's the character that they've got as well. They were able to win in a variation of games. They could win by crossing it, be good build-up play, long-range efforts. They could win in any sort of order. And you've seen them come up against sides who are a little bit defensive against them. And Liverpool were getting wins in the 80th minute plus. They kept on scoring late goals because they had that mentality, that character about them. And I think that's what they're lacking a bit this season. And if they can get that back installed in them, they'll be all right. I mean, they're definitely going to finish in the top four. I'm pretty confident they'll finish in the top four. They'll probably leapfrog Manchester United and they'll probably leapfrog Spurs. At one point, I thought they were going to struggle a little bit. And since then, their form has not really suggested they'll go on and improve. But they've just got that. They've got world-class players, essentially, and they've got a world-class manager, and they've got a world-class attitude as well. But what's gone wrong for them, do you think, this season, Gonzo? Can we simply put it down to injuries, or is there other elements?
Well, I don't think they control. Okay, from what I can see, and I don't know. I don't feel that they control the midfield like they have done, and I think that's almost. It's going to sound absolutely crazy, this, but I feel it's been a little position that they maybe wanted to address over the past 2 or 3 seasons. That and centre forward. How do you go from being as brilliant as they were to the next level up? Almost there was no players left in the world for them to sign that could improve them. I thought they were going to do one more thing. It was to bring another striker in to put pressure on Firmino. So they almost had another guy that could go in there. So I thought that, because I do think the drop down from the front three to the ones underneath was a bit of a gap. I thought Jota was a good signing, by the way. I also felt the same with the midfield, which I think Thiago was there, but I think their midfield's been decimated this season. So Thiago, well, Everton tried to kill all their players, didn't they? If you remember in that game, Thiago was one of them. Richarlison was trying to kill everyone, and they've taken Fabinho has come out the midfield, as you've mentioned on a lot of occasions, because of the problems at the back, and also it's taken Henderson out of the midfield. Wijnaldum doesn't look like the player that maybe he has been over recent seasons, but I think for me, when I look at them, I don't find the fullbacks, and it's changed tonight, hasn't it? Typically, Alexander-Arnold, the assist, the fullbacks have been major parts of their success, and they almost felt like just massive attacking threats all the time. So good at attacking the fullbacks, you couldn't defend against it. They didn't even have to get to the byline. They could cross from deep, and it was so accurate and absolutely brilliant. And I feel, you mentioned stale earlier, I felt all season their fullbacks have been stale and out of form. And I think that is a massive part of Liverpool's team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Van Adam's a good point. He's on his way out of Liverpool at the end of the season on a free, likely to Barcelona. So I think you're right. I just think it is down to injuries still, because they've constantly shuffling the pack. You don't know what they're going to do. A lot of Premier League teams this season has been somewhat predictable the way they line up, but you can't predict Liverpool's. Last season you could, because it was so good. The club didn't have to change anything. You could put the same 11 out week in, week out, and it was like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Gomez, and Van Dijk at the back? How are you going to get past them? How are you going to stop our attack? This season, you don't know what he's going to do, because you don't know what players he's got. You don't know who's filling in. Tonight, like you said, start with Matip and Henderson centre back. Matip went off at half time. It's crazy. He's just it's hard for any consistency to get going. The confidence disappears a little bit. Alisson hasn't looked as good this season as he did last season for me. A few underperforming players, but yeah, they're still in with a title challenge, so it's not that bad. Last question on Liverpool, as always. Players you admire, please.
Household names. I think Alexander-Arnold, and I mean, it's just typical. It's typical. I hope he hasn't found form tonight. He looked better, obviously. A brilliant player, an absolutely brilliant player in terms of his distribution. His long passing and his crossing is as good as not just anyone in the Premier League, possibly as good as historically the best players in the Premier League. Like the greats. He crosses like the greats. There's no doubt about that. I think actually Salah's been in good form. Salah is clinical and lethal, Geo, when he gets a chance on his left foot. He really is. He can finish high into the top corners very quickly. He doesn't require a lot of space to score his goals. So, and he is rapidly quick. And I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know about these players. As I say, these are household names. Not I'm plucking somebody out of the blue. I don't know what's happened with Jota because I haven't followed Liverpool that quickly, but he seemed to start very well for them, and it looked like they had a player who could almost play across the front three. I thought, well, that's a perfect signing, but I don't know. He's obviously dropped off for someone. I like Thiago. Everybody likes Thiago, but the injury and him coming back, and even today, I think there were moments when he looked like he was struggling a little bit with the pace in the game. That being said, I do feel that Tottenham made it a little bit easier for Liverpool's midfield than they needed to. Really, I think they surrendered a little bit of that territory there, which can be an interesting dynamic for us when we play them. The goalkeeper's very good, Geo, but they do miss Van Dijk massively, and I feel actually that sparkle you said. I feel because for me, Firmino has not had that sparkle. I feel maybe the front three haven't sparkled as much. When Firmino plays well, Salah and Mane play well.
Yeah, Yota's been injured for quite a while. He's been out for quite a while, the big injury. I like Curtis Jones. I'd like to see more of him. He's the centre midfielder coming through. Whenever I watch him, I'm impressed by him. I think he's quite a neat and tidy footballer. I want to, it's frustrating. I don't support Liverpool or that, but it's frustrating to don't see him playing these games. He played Milner tonight instead of Curtis Jones, and obviously it worked because they've won the game and Milner played okay. But it's sort of like, well, it's frustrating as a neutral. You want to see these young kids on the pitch, especially when I think they're performing well. I think Mane's been very inconsistent this season. He's arguably been one of the best players in Premier League the last 2, 3, 4 seasons, but this season he's nowhere near the top in terms of performers and stuff. You know, his other opponent tonight in Son is outshining him and playing in a similar position. I think Salah's world class. I still don't think he gets the plaudits he deserves, Salah. I don't know why. It's not that people don't rate him. I just don't think they rate him as high as, say, Bruno Fernandes or Kevin De Bruyne. And I don't think they do. I don't feel they do. If you were to go ask people who the best player in Premier League is, I think most people would pick one of those two, Fernandes or De Bruyne. I'm not saying Salah's as good as him. I think he should be. The guy scores practically every week. He's top goal scorer in the Premier League as we speak. He's just a ridiculous talent. I don't think he gets enough credit for some reason. I don't know why. I just don't think he does anyway. But anyway, shall we talk about West Ham now?
Yes, indeed.
Team picks itself, really. Next.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay, yeah. No, it does. It does. I'm excited for this, Gio. I'm excited. Look, I'm sorry to see Liverpool win. I am. But even the league looks juicy. They've this is crazy. I can't believe I'm going to say these words. Liverpool have knocked us out of the Champions League places. Right? What's saying? Liverpool have knocked us out of the Champions League places, but we can go back above them, and we can put Liverpool into fifth, and we can go fourth if we beat them. Well, it's mental. Anyway, so that's that. I like what I saw. They did play well, but I looked at what Tottenham weren't doing, if you like, and I thought, well, hold on, we're not going to do this. The commentator, I think possibly it was Steve McManaman, turned around and said, "This will give Liverpool confidence. Liverpool will be confident." Well, I'll tell you something now. Liverpool may well have got a bit more confidence, but I'm not sure they'll be as confident as we are. And I don't mean us confident of beating Liverpool, finishing top four, but actually the buzz and the vibe around our training ground. If what Steve McManaman was saying, okay, that'll make them feel a bit better in their training ground, well, we're feeling that anyway. And I'll tell you something, we certainly have a much more of a spring in our step, and it'll be much more of a confident team than I saw Tottenham were. If that's what they think, that they're going to turn up and they're going to find a team like Tottenham played today, they won't find that with West Ham.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to playing them, Gonzo. When Spurs did look half dangerous in the first half, Moyes was there tonight watching that game. Moyes would have been getting excited watching that. He's like, hang on, these sort of through balls and passes in behind their high line defense is working. Brilliant. That's what I'm going to do. When I watched them, I thought, I wouldn't fancy being a Liverpool fan watching us play, especially with their centre-back struggling. You know, Matip went off injured, so you have to assume, as it currently stands, the centre-back pairing is going to be Nat Phillips and Henderson on Sunday. You know, the 2 days rest added in. I think this is a really good time for West Ham to play Liverpool, to be honest with you. With our confidence, yes, they've got a big win, but to some extent, I almost don't mind that they won tonight. I'm thinking, let them have their win because it's sort of, I believe in a law of averages of football. And if they'd gone another game without winning, it'd be like, oh, well, they're due a win now kind of thing. They've got their win and they deserved the win. But I thought the first half, I thought Tottenham certainly gave them a few scares. And the goal that got us allowed for Son was ridiculously harsh. His heel was offside when he was facing away from the goal and stuff on the halfway line. So I looked at that and all I could think of, Gonzo, was can't wait to see Antonio against this
Yeah.
defence. I cannot wait to see us playing those balls in over the top for Antonio to chase in. I just cannot. And I can't wait to see Saeed Benrahma running past Thiago. The guy was struggling with Højbjerg. Højbjerg's one of the slowest centre midfielders. Well, he's not slow, but he gets around the pitch and stuff. But there's not much tricks to him. He's just a defensive midfielder. He's a big boy in the middle of the park. And Thiago is struggling with him. Put Benrahma up against him, and I'm expecting Thiago to be in the book early doors in the first half tonight. If Benrahma was playing for Spurs tonight, I saw tonight, and famous last words and all that. I feel a bit more confident than I did earlier.
Yeah, particularly if they're going to be mucking around in defence like they are. Yeah, because you can almost see a Antonio Connor Cody situation, particularly if Henderson is going to be pulling into those positions like he saw. He ain't going to be out muscling Antonio, that's for sure.
Anyway, the starting 11 just picks itself, really, doesn't it? As you were against West Brom.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure, absolutely. It's West Brom, Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It's going to be really, really interesting. I do remember last time we played them, I thought we'd have a bit more dominance in the air, and the boy, the new boy played for them. I think he might have came on the substitute tonight. It was very good in the air, which is great for them, but it ain't going to be enough. I think we're going to be really pushing Souček up there as well to cause them some problems. And whilst we haven't maybe got the fastest players, we do not stop running. And people like Bowen I can imagine Bowen being a bit of a thorn in the side of this one because he does not stop. I only one or two things is going to happen. Either they've found lodgings in London, or they're going home. I can't imagine they have found lodgings in London, because how can you in COVID situation then find somewhere to train and stuff like that? You can't put all the tested in and everything. I think they've possibly gone home. If they have, they finished that game, they won't be home. They won't be back in Liverpool until 2-3 in the morning, something like that, right? 2-3 Friday morning means they can't go in for training Friday. We're playing them Sunday. Means they've got to go home, they're going to have a late night, they're going to get up Saturday, and they're going to basically travel back down to London. It basically means between now and when we play them, they'll either be sleeping or travelling, which is great, because too many times the fixtures have been cruel to West Ham. This is the way it goes, and we've obviously we played on Tuesday, and we don't have that, and we were only playing in London, so everyone would have been tucked up in their beds at normal time because we played against Crystal Palace, and it was an earlier kickoff, of course, wasn't it? 6 o'clock. So I do wonder about that. And there's one team you don't really play at the moment in terms if you're fit, got fatigue and fitness problems. It's West Ham. Crikey, we're talking it up. Listen to us, blimey.
Yeah. Now, at time of recording, Jesse Lingard has not yet signed for West Ham. However, it's expected he will sign. So, Gonzo, hypothetically, on the assumption he did sign earlier today on Friday, he'll be on the bench for Sunday. It looks like we've been rushing to get it done in time to get him in the squad. A bit of a boost for David Moyes in particular, having a player he wanted in the team that can cover various positions.
Absolutely, and a good lift for the squad as well. Players like new players coming in, and if Jesse Lingard, I've got no reason to believe he wouldn't be. If Jesse Lingard is the character that we see, that we've seen on telly and that we've seen, he's going to come with a spring in his step, with a laugh and a joke and a friendly handshake, or a virtual fist bump, or whatever they're doing in COVID. So an elbow, isn't it? Of course. There'll be. I think he'll give the place a lift. I think there's a lot to be said, particularly at the moment. We're all a bit stale because everyone's seeing the same faces because you can't go out and do different things. A happy, bouncy, smiling face coming into the dressing room and lifting the place is going to make everyone feel good. I think it's whether he gets onto the pitch or whether he doesn't. I think it's a really good thing, and this is what it is. And particularly having lost Snodgrass, who was that guy, as well. So Snodgrass goes, so we get another, sort of fun guy who's good for the group, and he can play a bit of football as well. Brilliant.
I think it's a great fixture for him too. Being a Manchester United lad, played Liverpool on your debut is all the motivation in the world he needs and stuff. With the Euros around the corner, his aim has to be to try and get into that Euro squad. Don't think he will. I think he could play ban the match between now and the summer, and he still wouldn't get in it. But that's got to be his aim. That's got to be his motivation. And what a better one to start for a Man United fan to play against Liverpool on your debut. He will get an opportunity. I think he'll be David Moyes' first substitute. To be honest with you, I think if he looks at his bench, he's got Lanzini and Yarmolenko and Jesse Lingard. I would not be surprised if he picks Lingard to come on. It's just I'm going to put down to a trust thing. I guess the question is, Jesse Lingard will probably have 1-2 days training at the most with the players. Will David Moyes see enough there to say, yeah, I'll trust this guy? But I think he looks Lanzini and Yarmolenko, while they've done okay for Moyes, I think they've also disappointed him on occasions, whereas Lingard hasn't done either of those yet. I wouldn't be surprised if he took a punt on Lingard and put him on Sunday. There's a reason we're rushing this through. If Moyes has got no intention of using him, we wouldn't rush it through. We'd take our time, try and save the money, so on and so forth. But we haven't. We've sort of paid a bit more than we wanted to in order to get it done in time. Hopefully, he's actually been signed in the last 3 minutes of the preview. Hasn't been a waste of time.
Mate, I've already recorded the morning video, which people would have seen by now. So that's we'll see. That could look a very silly video as well. So let's see.
Normally I ask if you're confident last, but I've got another question for you. But first of all, you confident for this one?
I am. I would go as far as to say cocky. So I'm trying to get a grip on myself. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to say, calm it down, son. You shouldn't be cocky. I know, and I am. I'm having to keep myself in check. So I'm trying to remind myself how good Liverpool are, and maybe I've just watched the game. Maybe I watched the highlights again just to show me. But I should do. And you're right. They scored the goal. They got disallowed the old handball and all that. And then they still won 3-1. Yet still, I'm looking at it, still fancying my chances. Such is the confidence. That's what you asked. The confidence of West Ham at the moment. I am. I actually am. I think there's one thing I don't doubt about. We are going to be fitter than them in this game, and we're going to work harder. And the question is, can we get some set plays? I think we can, and I think we can. And they're a lot. And you're absolutely right. Tottenham are trying to do something. We will. I can't believe we will hoof the ball up the pitch. We will. We will hoof the ball up the pitch, and they're going to be in trouble when we do. It's ridiculous. I can't even believe this. We're saying these things. Yeah, I'm confident.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I don't want to say confident, but I am. I'm feeling cautiously confident as well. Watching them tonight. I just could see areas of weakness that we will expose that actually suits our game. If you were to play maybe like Southampton does with the slow build-up play and stuff, it would probably suit Liverpool, but we don't do that. Like you said, we will look to expose it. We will look to drop the ball in between Alisson and their defence and let Antonio run into that space. And I would back Antonio against their centre backs any day to win it, whether it's physically or based on the deck. We played at Anfield earlier in the season. I thought we played well. I thought we gave a good account of ourselves. We had Sebastian Haller up front that game. So now it's Antonio time, and I'm really looking forward to this game, actually. I think the pressure's on Liverpool here, but Liverpool turning up to this behind City with West Ham breathing down their necks. They've almost got to show that they are the better team, that they are the team of world-class players, that we are almost like the pesky little brother at the minute. It's like, oh, you just piss off and go away kind of thing. They've got to do that on Sunday. If not, I don't think it's going to go down well. I'm confident as well, and I hate it. But I am enjoying it. But at the same time, we lose. I mean, you're going to look like mugs with this preview, but it's difficult. We're fifth in the league on merit. We deserve to be there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what we're meant to do? Sit here and pretend to be humble, without being funny. That is it. We sit here and pretend, and then just meekly say, "Oh yeah, I think Liverpool are going to get this one, Joe, 1-0." I mean, we've got enough credit in the bank, mate. When we were playing Liverpool and we were playing City, when they were at their pomp, we'd sit on these previews and say we're going to get whooped 5-0, right? What did you say?
Yeah, 4-0 defeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's. I think we'd be being untrue to ourselves, and probably if we're feeling like this, there's going to be people watching this feeling the same as us, thinking, "Yeah, I fancy this as well, mate."
Yeah, really
So
fun.
but there will be others that are cautious as well. And this is how I feel about it for this one. I think, and I've looked at that, and I think Liverpool's front three is excellent. And I think in that, I think they've got the edge, right? aside from the rest this season, I'm sorry, our defence at the moment looks better than Liverpool's. That's how it looks to me. Our midfield at the moment looks better than Liverpool's. And I think in Mikel Antonio, we have one of the hot property strikers in the Premier League. I think we have one of the best strikers in the Premier League when he's playing like he's playing now. Now you want to put, and then we've got this set piece expert in Cresswell and another guy in Bowen who pops these corners over, plus this little magician who's starting to come through now and do these crazy things. I'm sorry, mate, that's a competitive game. I've given good, reasonable grounds for why we could be in this game. Good defence, good midfield, good striker, and we can cause some attacking problems as well. I think it should be a close game.
Yeah, I see teams with lesser defences than us hold Liverpool until tonight. But I think Mourinho got his tactics all wrong tonight. He switched to three at the back, and then they just did a tap out. Okay, Spurs were rubbish tonight. But seen Burnley beat them 1-0. Seen West Brom hold them to a draw and stuff as well. And you're looking at them, you're thinking, and Fulham drew with them. You're looking at them thinking, well, we're better than all those teams. We've got better defence. We've got better attacks than those teams as well. It's difficult, but it's just a big chance, Gonzo, to make a statement. We're all sitting here joking European football, not Champions League football, just European football, 6 and above at the minute. We're all sitting joking about it, but it's just an opportunity to go out, win on Sunday, and say, do you know something? We're going to do this, boys. You can believe in West Ham now.
Well, before we get to that, on that same subject, I've not heard Klopp speak yet. I will tell you now, Klopp will say in his press conference, he will talk about West Ham like we're a top 4 team. He will say they're a good team. There's no giving it. They're going for Europe. He will talk about us like you were just talking about. He will, because he will be trying to talk up our chances and play down his. He will try in his press conference and paint Liverpool as the underdog against West Ham. That's what he's going to try to do. All right. And then if we do beat them, he's going to criticise the way we play and say they play a certain style and say all that sort of stuff. Right. That's what happens. By the way, I think Klopp is not happy this season. I like Klopp. I do. I know a lot of people don't. I like him because he's happy and he's cheeky and he's smiley and all the rest of it. He looks grumpy this season. And I mentioned that, and I said it before, not just with playing him now. I said it when I was discussing Franks. I thought Lampard was unhappy as well. He don't look like he's enjoying himself, Klopp, at the moment. Is this a statement for us in terms of Europe? Well, just you look at the table and you do the maths yourself. Whether you think Europe or whatever, it is a massive statement that let me just have a little look. If we win this, right, be 21 games and that'd be 38 points and in 4th position, right? And not being funny, at the moment, that'd be 38 points at the moment. Manchester United are 2nd with 40, Leicester are 3rd with 39. It doesn't matter whether you want to equate it to European football or whether you don't. Mathematically, it will be the case that past the halfway point, West Ham are one of the best teams in the Premier League. What a crazy sentence I just said.
Yeah, I think it's a huge opportunity. We win on Sunday. I think people will sit up and think West Ham's going to do this, just like they are doing with Leicester City at the minute. I think we will cement our name well and truly in the running for European football, and I think we're going to do it, guys. I think this is an opportunity now for the boys to rub shoulders with the best in the league and get 3 points and show that we are contenders for finishing in the top 6 with this season. It's got to be the aim. Like I said, we finish 8th come May. It's still a good season. There's no reason we shouldn't be aiming that high currently as it is. We have to be. We have to go into this trying to get the win. There's no better time to play Liverpool. We've got so much injuries. We've had an extra 2 days rest. We're at home. We've got a striker that should rip into their back 4 as well. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Score prediction.
If you think you've got an idea what you think I'm going to say?
I think you might say what I'm going to say. Let me just let me write it down.
I'll do the same.
I think we'll say the same.
I'm not sure we will.
I think
you ready? Good. Same time.
Yeah. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no.
Yeah,
yeah. Seriously, you're going.
I am serious. I'm serious. I don't think we'll quite do the full 7-1 or 7-2 that Aston Villa did. But I think we're going to whoop them.
Why?
I'm not being silly. I'm not being silly. I feel crazy saying it. I'm not trying to get a laugh or a clickbait or whatever. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. We won't even put my prediction in the title anyway, so it ain't clickbait. But I am. I'm telling you.
Wow, I did not expect you to say
I
that.
feel really confident. I mean, we go there. I think we score an early goal. I mean, I'm gonna be enjoying it.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm doing an impromptu bet giveaway here. If Gonzo's right, I said 2-1 West Ham. I'm going to stick with 2-1 West Ham, right?
Yeah.
If Gonzo's right and it's 3-0 West Ham, we're going to give someone £250. It's 50 to 1 on Bet365. Just put a fiver of the Hammer Chat Kitty on there. So to enter, give us your score prediction below. You don't have to get the score prediction right. Just give us a score prediction. And if West Ham win 3-0, we'll pick someone and give them £250. Crikey, Gonzo. I was expecting that.
No, £240. I might keep a tenner for myself as commission.
Right, well, on that note, it's a 4:30 kickoff. So 3:25, we will be live on this channel. Pop back then with our build-up show, followed by a watch-along, followed by a review, followed by a talk West Ham where
talky business.
We can celebrate the West Ham. We can celebrate the 3-0 victory for West Ham. Anyway, drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to you around here in Gonzo. I'll see you at 3 on Sunday.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'll see you then. I can't wait.